Last year, Gears of War gave 360 fans an awesome bit of gaming and really raised the bar for first-person shooters. Now the game's about to come to PC, being released on the 6th of November in the US and on the 9th over here in Europe. So let's take a look at what's new and how it transfers to the new platform.
Ah! Damn! Back in your hole!
First up, new stuff. To compensate PC gamers for waiting so damn long for the game, then 5 new chapters have been inserted near the end of the campaign. This will give a bit more detail to the storyline, and it also has some great encounters, including an epic battle with the Brumak. Now, as well as being a really cool fight, then this is nice because it shows that Epic really listened to the fan base, and all the feedback from the 360 game said that they wanted a lot more from the beast than just a cool cutscene. The multiplayer has also had a boost, with 3 new maps and a new King of the Hill game type. In the PC version, you can also access the Unreal Editor. You'll also get to rub your Brumak battling and game editing in the faces of all those 360 players, as they're unlikely to get these extras, as it requires a slightly more up-to-date version of the Unreal Engine. Other than that, the storyline and gameplay are pretty much the same as the 360 version. Challenging and gritty, heart-pumping encounters with the Locust Horde, with cover and team-based tactics as a central feature. And the downsides are the same, with hopping in and out of cover potentially getting a little samey once you're 3/4 of the way in. So let's talk mouse and keyboard control. Now, I generally really like point and click, but to be honest, this game just doesn't work as well as it did with a 360 controller. One of the main issues is the context-sensitive control key. You use the spacebar or a double tap with your movement key to move in and out of cover, jump and run. With a 360, which had all this on the A button, this was tricky, but became fairly intuitive by about the time you completed the first level. But it just doesn't feel that natural on the PC, and certainly won't do in the same time frame, possibly because you're using the same hand as you are for movement. In short, I find myself making far more accidental commando rolls with this system. Also, mouse aim is a bit too precise, and everything seems a bit too quick. I found that the slightly more arcadey feel of controller shooting balanced out the gameplay and allowed much more complete immersion, especially with Rumble. Without these features, then even with shaky camera moves, you are always very aware that you are playing a game. You can always plug in a joypad, but this then begs the question, why play it on a PC? You'd think that the obvious answer would be the graphics, especially given how good Gears of War looked on the Xbox. From the coverage we've seen of the media conferences, it undoubtedly can look amazing, but you really need to have a graphics card that costs at least as much as a 360 to experience this. I'm running Vista with a GeForce 8600, so not a shitty setup by all accounts, but the graphics just look pretty good, which is a little disappointing for this particular title. Don't get me wrong, it's really great that they've made it playable on lower spec systems, including those running XP, but just don't expect too much unless you're packing some serious heat. Oh, and Windows Live is a real pain in the arse, with a long and drawn out profile creation process that you need to complete even to be able to save in the single player. In conclusion, this is still a really great game, but doesn't make quite the impact it did the first time around. If you've got a super pimped out daddy of a rig anyway, then definitely pick this up, and think about plugging in your joypad. If you've got a more modest PC setup, but you haven't played this through on the 360, then it's probably a worthwhile investment. But if you've played it through on the Xbox a couple of times and your PC isn't the absolute shit, then I probably wouldn't bother. For those of you with really hardcore machines, I'd say it's a 4-star game. For everyone else, it's probably more like a 3.
Come on!
Thanks for watching. You can leave feedback or check out our other episodes at playdigital.tv. And you can check out some of our other shows on the network. We do DVD and gadget reviews over at channelflip.com.